Okay, welcome back to Caribou Data Science Channel. It's time to do our data report for the country of Israel. You can see that Israel is averaging 144 cases per day, but only a little under 5.5 deaths per day. Calculate moving averages, only pull out the data from the first spike in April. So let's come back here and let's just plot this first of all. You can see deaths are continuing to trend upward. Unless, of course, there is a okay, no real patterns for us. Let's look and see if there's any days missing. Doesn't appear to be. So cases are continuing to spike upward. But deaths, let's take a look at deaths. Deaths are also spiking upward, but they're still averaging under 50 per day. Let's go back up here and try something. Let's do a 7-day moving average. See what that looks like. Doesn't really change anything. It just fits the curve a little better. Doesn't really change the conclusion. So let's switch this back to 14. Okay. So once again, we can see that cases are continuing to spike in Israel. You can see here the cases dropped below 1,500 for the day. Deaths continue to spike upward. Even though it's a relatively low number of deaths, it's still a lot for a country the size of Israel. Okay, here we go. Cases clearly spiking upward. This is the current week. This is Sunday for the first. So for the first day of the week, you already reported 10,000 cases. Interesting that there's nothing here, which is kind of hard to believe. But once again, you can see the deaths here. So let's take a look at the monthly numbers for Israel. September has spiked past July and August. Both deaths September's deaths has already passed August deaths with 3 days to go. Okay, so that concludes the report for Israel. Not good news. Cases and deaths are continuing to spike. Unfortunately, I don't think quarantining is really going to have the effect that they hope. Because I just don't think with quarantining you can get rid of every single case. You can reduce the new cases and new deaths to zero. I'm just not sure about that. I think one thing that the 1980 Spanish flu taught us was It's not nearly as easy to get rid of as we may think. It's not as simple as simply wearing masks. While wearing masks is helping and social distance is helping, the question is, can these measures get us to zero? Once again, you can see the spike back up here, and then drop down to here for cases. Deaths just the same continue upward pattern. Cases as of June 1st, deaths of June 1st. It's just a continued pattern upward here. Cases weekly for the look how far we're up only one day reporting of 1 week's worth of data. Were 10,000 cases reported last week. And over what 30 deaths reported last week also. September's cases is way past August cases. September's deaths surpassed August deaths even with 3 days to go. Okay, so that takes care of the report for Israel for today. Let me just update my database. And this takes care of the report for Israel.